What message would you like to share with your Canadian Etalk fans?
Oh, this is my message.
So much.
Not an audio message. I just take care of each other, and we'll get through this. We're going to get through this.
This year has been full of so many curveballs. 2020 is a year unlike any other. How are you doing today?
I'm not doing too well, but I'm still smiling. I have postpartum. I call it postpartum activity. So it's depression, anxiety, a lot of hormone stuff, a lot of neurobiological stuff. This is the third child that I've had postpartum activity after. So I do know that there's another side to it. And I also know that it's better than ever before. So because I have that in my back pocket, that past experience, I'm just holding on to that like a little Star of Bethlehem. And the best part of this pandemic is the searing intimacy that has become available in our family and the consistency. It's been incredible. And there's been a lot of service to be had and showings up, in this form, not in person necessarily, but, I love the planet. I love meeting humans. So I'm socially hungry as all get out. I feel also quite positive in the same breath. So it literally depends when you catch me.
I totally understand. I always, during these times, I'm saying I'm good and I'm bad and I'm good. And then we repeat.
Yes.
That's how it's going.
One of my answers is maniacal laughter. That's a good answer. How are you doing?
At the end of the day, we have to be grateful for whatever the world is sending us or presenting to us for life.
Yes. And I do, every single thing that's ever happened in my life, I actually truly believe that it was happening for some opening, for some expansion. And this pandemic time is a real alchemical crunch for so many of us. We're being painted into these unusual corners that are really hot. And we're either going to come out of it really, I think maybe a bit of both, but come out of it really enlightened around certain parts of our internal world that maybe we didn't have time to even access or think about. Lord knows we have a little extra time. And then those of us who struggle with work addiction, there's no 9 to 5, now I'm on my way home. There's no overt transition times with children at home and working. And so I have to be careful because I have a tendency to overwork.
It's been a year of milestones for you, a major anniversary for Jagged Little Pill. Plus, the musical makes history with 15 Tony nominations. So what does it mean to you and for you to see the work that you created, that you wrote at 19, still have such meaningful staying power then and now?
I mean, I try to attempt to make educated guesses, but there's one part of me that has no idea how this all happened and how I got here. Now, I really think that what was happening was I was giving myself permission alone in a room with Glenn or, maybe one collaborator. But with Jagged Little Pill, it was just Glenn and I alone in a room. So to some degree, it didn't even really feel that courageous to write it. And then when I'm writing it, I write it for myself. And then when I share it, it's not mine anymore. So in some ways, it's not as courageous as it might sound, because writing it alone is writing it alone. It's like writing in a diary. And then sharing it is, I guess it continues on some narcissistic level to be about me, but ultimately I'm offering the songs for other people to interpret. And that's my greatest joy, is when I hear people's interpretations of the songs, and often they're nothing near what my experience was, and it doesn't even matter because the song is theirs.
You channel your feelings into songs so perfectly and relatable, and like you said, it might not have been the way you wrote it, but a lot of us are feeling like, oh my gosh, like I totally get what she's saying. And your new album, Such Pretty Forks in the Road, is no different. You sing about, amongst other things, frustration and depression and mental health. When it comes to songs like Ablaze or Smiling, what goes into nailing down the messaging of these empowering anthems?
It actually happens. Thank you for saying that. It actually happens after the fact. So a lot of times people will say, well, what's the title of your record? Or what are the themes of your songs? Just as I'm beginning the writing process. And I don't know. I've never known. what the record will be about until it's finished. And I always write the title at the very last second. So it's really an unfolding, and I think the living of the life for however many decades takes whatever time it does. But then to write the song, it's usually 20 minutes and it all comes out at the same time, the music and the lyrics. And it's a really accelerated process. But the working up to that moment of just sitting there with receptivity and, you know, having enough agency to write it down longhand. Remember pens?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a quick process, but Glenn used to use the metaphor that it was like hooking up to an IV. So from the outside, if you're just looking at us, it doesn't really look like much is going on and there's music coming out. But at the end of the writing of a song, I definitely feel happily depleted.
Your 3 kids, I love names, Ever, Onyx, Winter. How important is music in their lives?
Music is the epicenter of their whole ammo. My daughter, very stream of consciousness. Like instead of talking some days, it's like we're in a musical and we'll just sing our conversations to each other. And on the walk we went on last night, just super stream of consciousness. Everything she saw, she'd integrate into the lyrics. So that's been fun. And Ever, my son, has perfect pitch and he sings when he feels like it. And we record him sometimes if we're fortunate. And then my son Winter's playing around with his Mariah Carey range, you know. I have the whip out and, you know, really sort of pushing him to, no, he has a really, really beautiful voice, timbre. So yeah, music is massive. And there's a lot of dancing to songs in our head versus songs in the room. And a lot of sensitives in this house, sensitives and empaths. So we're constantly negotiating sound and, you know, all families I know right now, we're all learning how to be amazing negotiators before our heads pop off.
What is bringing you joy right now?
Talking with you. My curiosity, bringing me joy is, you know, I've been framing a lot of photos.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm framing photos and I'm decorating and I'm cleaning and I'm homeschooling and a little bit of cooking, but not really. And just trying to basically hold it together with the PPD stuff. I think once I stop breastfeeding, I think it'll shift a little bit, but I love art, you know, doing crafts with my kids and swimming or just staring into their sweet eyes. I mean, that's everything.